And welcome back to Love Your Food. This week we have a really simple and delicious recipe for you. This is a pan-seared trout with a brown butter caper sauce. And it does require a little bit of special timing, but it's absolutely delicious. I'd also like to remind everyone we have an affiliate link with Chef's Temp if you need a kitchen thermometer or meat probe. Check it out in the description below and use code LOVEYOURFOOD on checkout for 15% off your purchase. And now the ingredients. So we have this beautiful trout. That's a whole side there. It's all filleted and everything. Some flour, some starch. This is just to dredge the trout. And then we've got some butter in two different amounts. So some of it's going to be kept cold and some of it's going to be sauteed in. Some shallot, some chives just for garnish at the end, a little bit of lemon juice, and some capers. And you can get these at most shops. You get those nice tall skinny bottles of capers. Now we want the shallot to be pretty fine, so we're going to get close to what a professional kitchen would call a brunoise cut, which is a very, very fine dice. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect, of course. We're not going for Michelin star here. We just want it to be really nicely, finely diced. And you can see here, this isn't super, super tiny. This would never pass muster in a real professional kitchen as far as brunoise, but it will do for a home cook for sure. Then we're going to divide this up. We're doing this in 3 portions because we've got 3 people eating this time. This beautiful trout, we're going to give it a little bit of salt and pepper just for seasoning on the flesh and also on the skin. Now we're going to eat that skin because it is delicious. Most of those amazing fatty acids that fish have are close to the skin, and you want to eat that. It is really, really good for you. And honestly, I love the taste of trout and salmon skin. I think it's excellent. Now we're going to dredge this really gently in some of this flour and starch mixture. This is just equal parts flour and starch. Now typically, you don't need to really dredge both sides. You can just dredge the skin side, and it gives you that slight little bit of extra crispiness once it's been cooked. Now you're going to put that into our hot pan with some of our butter, and that's, want to make sure it's good and hot. You can see it sizzling away there. And then we're going to flip it over once it has cooked in the thick part about 1/3 of the way up, because we don't want this to overcook. Once fish overcooks, it gets quite dry. Now you want to try and get the little curved edge as close to the edge of the pan as you can, because it'll help it cook. We're going to flip it over one more time and put that in the oven under the broiler just super briefly. And there we go. Those are done. We're just going to take those out of the pan and let them sit aside for a little while. You don't want to overcook them, so take them out before they're all the way done and let them carry over while they rest. This part needs a little bit of timing because everything's going to go real fast here. So we're going to get our some of our butter into our pan, and we're just going to let that brown a little bit here. You can see it's melted and it's starting to darken. It happens really, really fast, so you have to keep a really close eye on it. You don't want it to burn, but you do want it to be nice and brown like you can see here. Then we're going to add in our chopped shallot and the capers as well. All the amounts are going to be in the description below. And just give that a good stir. You want to get some really nice brown color from the butter, and you want to get those nice and translucent. You want to get them cooked a little bit. You can see there, everything's coming together really, really nicely. And that butter has really reduced, like all of the liquid, the water has come out of the butter. And it's just that beautiful butterfat. We're going to add in that lemon juice. And this is going to add a little bit of zing. And then once that has sort of settled down and reduced a little, we're going to add in the rest of the butter cold. Now, it's really important that you add this butter in cold because it's going to slow down the cooking. And it's also going to help everything sort of come together into that beautiful, thick, rich sauce. And it comes together super, super fast, as you can see here. Those cold bits of butter melt really, really fast. And you can see it thickening, and that amazing flavor of the lemon and the shallot with the capers and all that butter. And that's it. It's done. And you want to get that onto your fish as fast as you can. It doesn't stay good for very long, and once it starts to cool, it will start to break. So you want to make sure you get that onto that fish and then get it served. You want to make sure that's done real, real fast. But it is delicious. On top goes those chives we showed you at the beginning. Just an absolutely fantastic dish. We served it, as you can see, with some Brussels sprouts and potatoes that we just roasted in the oven, and it was fantastic. Absolutely delicious. Definitely impress your friends with this one. If you like this recipe, please do like and subscribe. And if you have any recipes you'd like to see Chef Caleb try on the channel, please let us know in the comments below. We'd like to thank our patrons on Patreon for supporting us. I'll put a link in the description below for that as well. And remember to love your food.